This is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
And we love movies.
Woohoo! James, and there's so much to talk about. So much to talk about, so many things going on. It's spring, James. It's spring, finally, in so many ways.
It's sprung.
Spring is springing and has sprung. The trees are, I was going to say the trees were singing. The birds are singing. The trees are blooming. It's coming along. The vaccines, James. The vaccines are blooming.
Yes.
We're so close. We're so close to life coming back in so many ways.
Yeah, and thank you for coming back. I know last week we took a break, but we are springing right back into the show. And because of that, we decided, what better thing to talk about than movies that have that spring break feel. And, that feeling could be different to all of us. And so we're going to go down our top favorite spring break movies, and hopefully you'll share some of your own as well. But also on this episode, we are sharing casting calls because we have more casting calls in New England, in the Boston region, and you could end up soon on the big screen. And speaking of the big screen, it's kind of on the smaller screen is where I saw it. This new movie that's getting a huge not only Oscar buzz, but it is basically the Beehive, Minari. It is one of the most nominated films for this year's Oscars. I watched it, and we will talk about that movie, as well as some Justice League news, WandaVision recap, and some local heroes, some local explorers that started their life exploring the streets of Boston and then started exploring space. Who is it? We'll find out. But thank you so much.
Oh my God. Who is it?
Who could it be? But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Please follow us on YouTube, also on our Facebook page. You can also find us on our Instagram, Twitter, @HubOnHollywood, and listen to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services. We are an iHeartRadio podcast, so that's where you can listen to us. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you go. You can listen to us on the go. So thank you very much.
Yeah. So James, where do you want to? You want to just jump into our spring movies here?
Yeah, let's spring into our spring break movies. So this list is our interpretation of spring break and what that means for us. So I'll just kick this off because this movie, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but this is a really good one that I highly recommend, that my girlfriend also loves, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Have you seen this one?
I have not heard of that, no.
It stars Alan Tudyk, Tyler Labine, directed by Eli Craig, and this was made in 2010. It follows an affable group of hillbillies, Tucker and Dale. They're on vacation at their dilapidated mountain cabin when they're mistaken for murderers by a group of preppy college students. And so these college students, they're on their break, they're going out to the wilderness, and they run into Tucker and Dale, who at first glance, they look like, your cliche hillbilly people, mountain folk. But in reality, they're very kind-hearted and very nice people. But, after accidents and miscommunication, this group of preppy college students, they think they're murderers and trying to go out and trying to kill them. And so this becomes this, back and forth of like, who's really evil, who's really bad, really fun, and I recommend that one. What's on your list?
Well, I'm going to kick it off with a classic. My list is more along the lines of, movies that embody that theme of rebirth. Like, in the spring we're coming out of the winter and the flowers are blue, everything just comes back to life and it's a transformative, thing. So that's my favorite theme in any movie, the hero's journey or whatever. It's the transformation of the main character. But also, keeping it a little bit literal, let's go with my first pick, The Secret Garden, James. The Secret Garden. Do you ever watch that one?
Not at all.
No, about the little girl who loses her parents and has to go live with this recluse uncle of hers in a castle in England. and she discovers not only a secret garden of her dead aunt, but a secret cousin that she didn't know existed. And this little boy's been hidden away his entire life because he was very sickly. And, the uncle just takes off, and he is afraid because his son is so sickly. He doesn't want his heart broken again. And, basically everything about the place that she goes to is dead. And she brings it all back to life. She brings back the garden. She realizes that her cousin's not sick, helps him, become, a real kid. And it's a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, sweet movie that is very literally about the spring of life and bringing this family back to life. I highly recommend it. My son loved it. Me and my husband bonded over this movie too. So we both know like all the words to this movie. He's not into like my nerd movies, but he's definitely into The Secret Garden. So that is my number one springtime movie pick. So what have you got coming up next?
All right, so with spring it means baseball season, and what better? I'm not sure if you have any other baseball related movies, but for myself, A League of Their Own. So this stars Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, back in the 40s?
Oh gosh,
because this is during World War II
World
era.
War II.
And so this is two sisters. They join the first female professional baseball league, and they struggle to help it succeed amidst their own growing rivalry. And, Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, what more can you want? But it's that real Americana, old school, classic baseball feeling that every time I watch that movie, I can smell the dirt, I can smell the grass, and, smell the leather of a glove.
Yeah.
And so that always reminded me, I don't claim to be an athlete, but I used to play a little bit of t-ball back in the day, and yeah,
you don't say, James.
Brings back those memories.
Oh, speaking of memories, James, check out what I'm wearing right here.
Yeah,
I don't know if
very
the
nice.
Wiffle
The Wiffle
Ball
Ball
tournament. We went
Turn
to the
around. Give
Wiffle
us
Ball. Yeah, right there.
You have right behind WBZ News Radio 1030. And as we
That's
mentioned,
right.
we are iHeart radio station. Go on to WBZNewsRadio.com. We're in the podcast page. Check it out. Love that shirt.
The Wiffle Ball tournament. I was pregnant when I hit like a triple. It was awesome. Anyways, I love that movie. Of course, A League of Their Own, a classic of classics. Anything with Tom Hanks, really. That's amazing. Speaking of another classic that is not exactly a happy movie, but it is about literal rebirth and maybe, I don't know how literal, but metaphorical rebirth. The Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's really
The
good.
Shawshank Redemption is a great movie. It's about the guy who's falsely convicted of murdering his wife and his time in prison and his eventual escape and all of that and everything that he survives. So I think that fits in with my theme. That's another one of my husband's favorite movies, The Shawshank Redemption. Not exactly a happy-go-lucky spring movie, but
movie?
Great.
Yeah, that movie and Forrest Gump are two movies that I can, whenever it's on TBS, because it's always on TBS. It's on one of those channels where it's always on. Whenever it's on, no matter what part it is, I have to stop and just watch it, because that's the top favorite movie of all time. Yeah,
give respect where respect's due. You gotta put everything down and then just pay attention and watch. What's your next one?
So another favorite of mine, or a movie that is a favorite of many people's, is 22 Jump Street. This is the sequel to 21 Jump Street, starring Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, Ice Cube. So basically, if you haven't seen this movie, 22 Jump Street. If you know the TV show 21 Jump Street, the cops, they pretend they're high school kids to bust this drug ring. They made a movie which was very good. It should not have been good in theory, but it was a very good movie. The sequel, 22 Jump Street, they go from high school, Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, their characters, they're police officers undercover. They go to college during spring break, and they're trying to go undercover to, again, try to bust this big drug ring. And it's hilarious. Ice Cube. If you haven't seen this movie, go see it. It shouldn't be this funny or this good based off a TV show so many years ago, but it works. So 22 Jump Street, check that out. All right.
Well, kind of on that vein, a funny pick that I've got, Crazy Rich Asians. Because if we're just thinking spring break, tons of fun, lots of parties, most of this movie is shot in Singapore at all of these just amazing mansions and beautiful clubs and just the lifestyle, the fun of it. Like, I just Crazy Rich Asians. You can't go wrong. That's a great spring fun movie.
All right, so this is not this is a cult classic by now. American Pie 2. I think American Pie 2 a little more so because they go to this beach house. They're in college, they are now in college, and they go to spring break, try to revive their fun that they had during high school. And yeah, in American Pie 2, I think everybody by now has maybe seen the first one. If you haven't seen the second one, it's just as raunchy, just as, lowbrow humor, but still really fun. So that's I think, a good spring break theme kind of feel movie.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Those were, they were so, like, risque when they first came out, and now I think they would be, like, considered almost mild, but obviously classically hilarious and American and spring breakish and fun. Let's see. Oh my God, one of my favorite movies in the whole world, that I love to watch every single time. It doesn't matter what time of the year, but hey, spring is as good a time as any. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Very good movie.
Oh my goodness. As close to a technically perfect film that you will ever see, and as close to a real life live action video game sort of interpretation of this story. I love everything about it. It's funny, it's fun, it's hilarious. The gags that are in this movie you don't see anywhere else. And I love how the fights sort of progress towards the end.
Captain America. Chris Evans is in there too.
Yes, Captain America. When we only knew him from what was the other movie with the not another teen movie?
Oh yeah, Van Wild. No. Yeah, not another teen movie. Yes.
Yes, not another teen movie in the whipped cream bikini. That was his claim to fame at that point. So he is also in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And oh my gosh, who plays Scott Pilgrim?
Oh, Michael Cera.
Michael Cera. Yes.
Cera. It's funny because he gets typecast so often and so much. This role, he really is able to act, and when given the right or a good script and good content, he's very good. He's great in this movie, and unfortunately, it didn't get all that buzz when it was in theaters. But after it came out, that's when the appreciation for that movie really started to grow. And so they need to make more movies like that because it was, like you said, visually beautiful. The story's
visually
great,
stunning,
based off a comic, I believe. Yeah,
the writing is so sharp. The writing and the jokes are so quick, so sharp, so beautifully visually executed.
The music is great.
The music is amazing. Okay, so there's this one scene where his, the little high school girlfriend is like looking for Scott Pilgrim at his apartment. She knocks on the door. They open the door. Right? Oh my gosh. What's his name?
I'm blanking on his name. Michael Cera. Michael Cera?
No, not Michael Cera. The one from, gosh, hold on. Give me a second.
You got this.
the one from the Home Alone movies.
He's in that movie? What's his name?
Yes.
Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin is the roommate, is Michael Cera's roommate in that movie.
Are you sure?
I'm 1000% sure. That is Macaulay Culkin.
I know that scene where, I know that we're going to have to do some investigative journalism here because...
Okay.
Because in that scene where Scott Pilgrim jumps out of the window and his roommate says, "Oh, you just missed him."
You just missed him. He jumps out of the window. Then he reaches back in and gets his jacket. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. Is it not?
That's not Macaulay Culkin.
Oh my God! I thought that was Macaulay Culkin my whole life.
No,
I've always thought. Who is that?
That is I'm blanking on his name. He's been in other movies, but that is not Macaulay Culkin.
Hold on.
I was gonna have my mind blown really quick.
Is that not Macaulay Culkin?
We're checking this. We're gonna nail because here on the Hub on Hollywood, we want to make sure.
Hold on. It's not Macaulay Culkin. It's Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Okay,
Kieran Culkin. It's Kieran Culkin. It is a Culkin.
The DNA is there.
The DNA is there. The bone structure is there. It's
See,
not Macaulay Culkin. It's Kieran Culkin.
See, I learned something. I didn't know that he was related to Macaulay, but okay,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay, there
We
we
all
go.
learned something
Okay.
new today.
Anyways, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Sorry about that, folks, but we're good. Yes, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Go watch it. Amazing.
Yeah, go watch that scene too.
Yeah.
My final spring break movie is Hot Tub Time Machine, and I think this has become a cult classic. I think it's about if you haven't seen it, a manufacturing time machine. A malfunctioning time machine at a ski resort takes a man back to 1986 with his two friends and nephew, where they must relive a fateful night and not change anything to make sure the nephew is born. Starring John Cusack, Rob Corddry, Craig Robinson. This is a great movie. My girlfriend and I, we've both seen it separately, but we've both talked about watching it together because for some reason it's so ridiculous. The idea of a hot tub time machine. In theory, again, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't sound like it would work, but it does work. And this one, I can watch multiple times.
Okay. All right. And my last pick here, it's kind of a broader pick. Anything Jane Austen. Anything Jane Austen.
Yeah.
They're all classics. The Pride and Prejudice, the Mansfield Parks, etc., etc. Everything about Jane Austen screams, it screams that rebirth theme. That the little girl whose early life is so hard, and then she comes of age, and then she finds love, and it just all blooms, and it's wonderful, and roses. Anything Jane Austen, I could just sit in front of the TV all day and with ice cream or whatever, my favorite treats, and just binge watch everything of Jane Austen. It gives me the Raylos. It gives me the Raylo feels.
It's funny because when I was making this list, I was actually not even joking. I was considering Little Women, the one that just came out recently with Emma Watson, and for some reason that movie, I think, perfectly captures moments of spring, and that. It didn't make the list, but it did cross my mind to put it on there. And so that's funny that you mention it, because that resonated with me as well.
Yeah, and Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre has very literal scenes of spring, and that ties in thematically, quite literally there. So yeah, anything Jane Austen. Little Women. We love Little Women. Little Women was shot here. Little Women was shot here in Massachusetts, the latest version, with all our famous Little Women. So that is our list. What is your list? What is on your springtime list of movies to watch, whether it be spring break or something a little more metaphorical? We want to know. Let us know. Find us at Hub on Hollywood. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're waiting for you. Hello.
Come on, people.
Hello.
No, we have a growing followership, and so we do appreciate those who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and we'll also thank you. Please share us with your friends and family who also love movies, and also share our podcast with those in New England who are interested in acting, because as Jamie just mentioned, we have a lot of things filming in New England, and especially things are ramping up because the pandemic is. Hopefully, fingers crossed,
waning,
knock on wood, it's winding down, and we are seeing productions return to the area. So please, if anybody has the acting bug in your family, in your friend circle, send them this, because like what we're going to do right now, we're going to share casting calls with you. And if you want to go right into it, I can share this one with Boston Casting. They are looking for real families for a biopic. They're looking for mom, dad in their 40s, 2 children between 6 and 15 years old. This is for a commercial shoot on March 25th, 26th, the 30th, and April 2nd in Rhode Island. This pays up to $750 per person. And so anybody interested should send their name, their age, their family members, family photo, contact information, where you live. Send all that to Boston Casting Submit 4, the number 4, at gmail.com. Boston Casting Submit 4 at gmail.com.
Right. Also from Boston Casting, they're looking for a cappella groups.
Yeah,
Everyone
can you
has
sing?
to. La 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 la.
La la la. I can't.
La, la, la. I just watched Pitch Perfect. Last night I was watching Pitch Perfect with my
Surprisingly
family.
good. Right?
Yeah, surprisingly
Really
good. Yeah. A lot of fun, and now there's like 4 or 5 of them. But
Yeah.
anyways, this is for a television opportunity. Boston Casting is looking for a real a cappella group. Everyone has to be an adult, though. Everyone has to be 18 plus. It shoots in mid-April, and it pays good money. So you're going to want to submit a photo, your experience, and where you're based, and your contact information to Boston Casting Submit 5@gmail.com for that one for a cappella groups. Okay.
All right, and Slate Casting, we are looking for real families in D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia. They're currently casting real families in the area. This is for a upcoming project. They're looking for parents, kids age 6 to 13, and a grandfather. This pays $3,600 for a 5-hour shoot. No acting experience necessary. If you are interested, please send family photos, names of their children, family members, contact information, where you live. Send all that to slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Get grandpa in there. It's never too late to become a movie star. So you never know.
Exactly. No, it really isn't. It really isn't. And this is a little bit outside of our region. This is like more mid-Atlantic, Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland. But they're still doing casting for that. But you're right, James. There is no age. There is no type. There is no gender that they are specifically looking for. They are looking for everyone. There are opportunities for everyone. So if you're listening to us, yes, you, whatever you look like, wherever you're from, whatever you've done in this life, however old you are, there are opportunities for you to get involved in the entertainment industry, because one of the wonderful things that has been happening in the last few years is that the entertainment industry is aligning more with reality, James, and with what people actually look like and actually do. And so that's just a really wonderful thing. There are tons of casting agencies in our region, and we like to bring you the biggest open casting calls. So like James said, continue to follow us, join the conversation, Hub on Hollywood. We are here to get you, yes, you, on the silver screen, the TV screen. Right now, there's a couple of big projects that are working right now. There's The Tender Bar, which is being directed by George Clooney, starring Ben Affleck. They are shooting in and around everywhere around Boston.
I think it's funny. Whenever a picture pops up of Clooney and Ben Affleck, without question, Affleck's always holding that Dunkin' coffee, like
Always.
a true Bostonian, like a true local Boston Dunkin' coffee in hand. So
Do you think he gets paid every time they take a picture of him with a Dunkin's cup?
He must get free Dunkin'. I think he could walk into any place in any Dunkin' in New England, and people just throw coffee at him.
That's wonderful. I mean, as long as he catches it. That's great. There's also a show called Kevin Can F Himself and a couple of other projects that are all actively filming right now. So that's what's up, James. That's where it's at. Keep coming back.
And as you were just mentioning right now, how the film industries, film studios, they're now maybe not more so, but we are hearing about it more, where they're making movies that represent more people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures. And this next movie that I just saw checks all those boxes and then some. And I watched Minari, which is it follows a Korean family. It was filmed here in Oklahoma, based in Arkansas. But this movie, nominated for 6 Oscars. It is all the buzz right now. It's nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Stephen Yeun, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Score, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. This movie, I was blown away by it. What it is, it follows a Korean family. They move from California to Arkansas, again, filmed in Oklahoma, which is beautiful. This takes place in the 1980s, and basically this family, they're trying to start a farm and live the American dream. And the family's made up of parents, Jacob and Monica, their 2 children, Anne and Jacob, who are more acclimated to America. They speak perfect English, as well as the native tongue, and as well as their grandmother, Soon-ja, who is brought in to care for the family as the parents try to build this new life. And this movie, really, really great. I think it deserves all the Oscar nominations that it's receiving, because not only is it showing the perspective of immigrants trying to make a life for themselves, their family, and acclimating to a new culture here in America, but it's also great at showing that, despite all the differences, that this family is going through what every family goes through. They want their family to succeed. They want a safe place for their kids to grow, to learn, and very relatable, very timely, especially regarding what's going on in the news recently with talking about spikes in hate crimes and harassment to Asian members of the community and Pacific Islanders. And so this does show, even though there are language barriers and cultural barriers, when it comes down to it, this is a family just like any other family trying to get by, and they want what everybody else wants, to have their chance and opportunity to live a good life. And this movie, very realistic. I was easily sucked into the world. The family, it feels like you're not supposed to be there, because it feels like you're just a fly on the wall watching this family do their thing when they're experiencing joy, when they're experiencing grief. It's very beautiful and very realistic. And a part of that, what made that happen, was the acting. The acting, it's incredible. Not only is Steven Yeun deservedly being nominated for Best Actor, but everybody else in this movie is great and just right up there. There's also legendary Korean actress Yoon Yo Jong. She's nominated for Best Actress, and she plays the grandmother beautifully. The two children, from what I've seen in interviews, they were finally picked a month before they began shooting. And the director, they had 90 auditions and 90 resumes to go through. And they settled with this boy and girl. One was 7, the other one younger. But they're amazing, and I'm not sure this is their first time acting, but if they've been in 10 movies already, I'd believe it, because they're just professional and they're really good. And I don't know what more to say about this movie. Minari, if you are able to see it, stream it somewhere, please do, because again, 6 Oscar nominations, they deserve it all.
I saw the trailer for this. I was watching the trailer when you told me that you were going to watch this, and I did, as you said, got sucked into the idea of it immediately. And what really stuck out to me from the trailer, at least, was the children, like you said, and the little boy who just wants to be American. He just wants to be American, and he doesn't want his family to really be different. And there was the conversation between him and his grandmother, and he's telling her, "You're not a real grandmother." And she's like,
right.
"Why? Why am I not a real grandmother?" It's like, "Because you don't bake cookies, and you curse a lot, and you do all of these things." And she's just messing with him, and it's just beautiful. It's just wonderful. So I'm looking forward to watching that one when I get a little bit of time. Minari.
Minari, if you need hope, because this movie ends on a high note, and it leaves you with hope and inspiration. And so, again, a movie that's very relatable to today, and if you need a little pick-me-up, this is definitely a movie that, if anything, should show you the importance of family and, appreciating what you have, but always wanting to strive for more. So, Minari, go get it. Go check it out.
That's wonderful. I love my cursing grandmother. I think
So. Growing up in a Mexican household, yes. There's no bleep, there's no PG version of life, and this is exactly it too. So beautiful movie.
My Cuban grandmother is out every weekend partying and dancing, and oh my god, abuela, she's way more party animal than I am. So that is wonderful, James. Anything else that you are going to be looking out for? We know we are aware of the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut is out. The Snyder Cut is out, folks. So we are going to be giving that the due attention that it needs to get through a 4-hour movie.
That's next on my list. It's getting a lot of great buzz, and as somebody who watched the original Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, I was not a fan of that movie, and honestly, I've not been a really big fan of the DC rest of the films. Like Batman versus Superman, there was so much expectation and so much hope that this was going to be a great thing, based off of what is already in comics. They've perfected that story arc, that storyline in the comics, and when they translated it to the big screen, I don't know what happened. It was such a big disappointment. And so, but when I'm hearing about this new the Zack Snyder cut, I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, we will watch it. We will give our hot takes about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, one thing you should watch if you are a big fan of WandaVision, which we have covered before, they had this extra little 1 hour documentary behind the scenes look of how they made it, and that's definitely worth your time because if you watch the series and you loved it, it's amazing. But seeing the behind the scenes, how they really did it and how they made it. Beautiful. Like, for example, when they did the first 3 episodes, black and white, kind of 1950s, 40s, 50s look, they filmed that in front of a live studio audience with an audience that didn't know, they weren't paid. They were there to watch it.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah. And so just seeing all those little tidbits and fun facts, it's amazing. So go watch that. But yeah, the Snyder Cut will be next on my to-do list.
Okay. Yep, from the DCEU to the MCU to everything in between. James and I are on it. And thanks for coming by and hanging out with us for a little bit.
Yeah,
Come back next.
Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I do want to mention we do have one last bit of entertainment news. I did tease, that local hero that has
yes, who's the local hero?
Exactly, that explored the neighborhood, the Boston neighborhoods to exploring space. Leonard Nimoy. Not many people know this, but Leonard Nimoy, he was born in Boston's West End, a neighborhood, a community in Boston, and he grew up here. And just this week, a proclamation was declared March 26th on Friday, which will be 90 years to the day that he was born. That's going to be known as Leonard Nimoy Day. And the mayor, Marty Walsh, he signed a proclamation. Yes, live long and prosper. He signed a proclamation making it so, and so March. I think that's a Picard quote, but yeah, Leonard Nimoy. He the proclamation. Let me just read it to you because a little bit about it. It shows. It says, "We are here today to express special recognition to the late Leonard Nimoy, who was born in the West End 90 years ago on March 26. He nurtured his acting talent through the neighborhood at the Elizabeth Peabody House and at the West End Boys Club. In his teens, he received a summer scholarship for acting lessons at Boston College. He received an honorary degree at Boston University. He brought honor upon his native city with his accomplishments as an actor, writer, producer, director, poet, photographer, philanthropist. He worked for the betterment of his community by contributing to cancer research and to the financial aid for arts and telescopic space research." And so one last little tidbit here that I loved was that Leonard Nimoy, through his fictional character Mr. Spock, half human, half Vulcan, gave the immigrant, the refugee, and the oppressed a hero for the outsider. So Leonard Nimoy, thank you very much for your service, for your acting ability, but also your philanthropic, if I said that correctly, for all your accomplishments. So thank you very much. Leonard Nimoy, may your legacy live long and prosper. May we all live long and prosper. May you live long and prosper. And you definitely will if you hit subscribe, hit like, and give us a share. Thank you so much.
What kind of... We cannot guarantee that.
Can't guarantee that. Not guaranteeing eternal life. But please.
It can't hurt. It can't hurt.
Can't hurt, right? You never know. You never know.
Okay,
but thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of The Hub on Hollywood. Let us know what your top favorite spring break movies are. Tell us, are you a Leonard Nimoy fan? And are you going to watch Minari? Let us know what you think if you have already watched it. Comment down below. But yeah, thank you so much.
All right, until next time, I'm Jamie.
I'm James. Bye.
Yeah. We don't have that power.
We don't have that power.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.